Okay. So when I was 18 years old, I was a party kid, like big time party kid. I had really no inhibitions, and I met this guy, and quickly after meeting him, about a couple months after meeting him, we decided that we want to have a baby. Crazy. So we I got pregnant quite quickly after deciding that within a month or so. And then I found out that when I found out I was actually pregnant, I stopped. The world just stopped. I looked at the pregnancy test in my hands and I was like, this is actually happening. Like, how am I supposed to do this? I wasn't raised by mom. I was raised by a single father who I had random stepmoms come into my life, but all I knew about parenting was what my random mishmash of parenting skills my stepmoms gave me. Um, so fast forward to when I was about 7 months pregnant, and I ended up living in an abuse shelter. My son's birth father became quite abusive when he found out I was pregnant. Um, there was, threats of like my life was threatened, my son's life was threatened, so I had to get out of there. So I left. And then after leaving the shelter, I ended up in a hospital for 6 days with preterm labor. And this is gonna sound crazy, but those 6 days were probably like the best 6 days of my life. So, besides being able to hold my son, those 6 days were amazing because that's when I was able to bond with my son. And like I just laid in the bed for 6 days, and I was by myself. Like I had distanced myself from all my friends because of the abuse that his father put me under. I didn't have really any family, and the family that I did have didn't know all that was going on. So I was basically in a hospital bed for 6 days, not being able to get up, just stuck. And it was then that I just fell completely head over heels in love with my son. I sang to him. I watched really crappy daytime television and laughed and felt him kick, and it was just this most amazingly weird experience to bond with someone you've never even met nor has like even taken like a breath outside of you. It's so weird. um, so I left the hospital, and that's when I moved into a maternity home in Naples, Florida. And my first day there, um, the director of the home, Miss Linda, was like, pretty gutsy move, but that was Miss Linda said, have you considered adoption? And I was like, no, lady. Like, I love my son. Like, why would I ever, like, women who place their children for adoption obviously don't like their kids. They didn't spend 6 days with their baby in their womb in the hospital falling in love. Like, that's not something I want to do. And she let it go. But then I started really, really thinking about, like, what can I actually give my son that he deserves, and that I can't give him. So I made all kinds of charts and Venn diagrams and bullet points and numbered lists and color categorize everything of like what I have three options here. Technically, I could have an abortion, which never would have happened. I could parent, which obviously I wasn't equipped to do, and I mean I could have probably have, but my son he would have gone wanting. He would have gone needing. There are things that I would not be able to provide for him. Um, and adoption, and the ultimate reason that I placed him for adoption is because I couldn't give him everything he deserved. To come to that conclusion was like a moment of, well, I'm not good enough to be his parent. I can't do it. So there was like a lot of pride yeah, it was, my pride had to be broken. Um, but then there's also like this weird sense of peace when I decided to place him, because I was like, all these things that I want for him, I can actually give him. Like, through this choosing to place him for adoption, I can actually give him a family that can give him everything he wants and needs plus more. And it was just like, it was peace, I think. Completely enveloped with fear and anxiety and not knowing and sorrow, but ultimately, like, peace, I think, would be the biggest emotion. My name is Amanda Lord, and I am a birth mother. When you say put up or gave up for adoption, you're actually using a phrase from the orphan train days.